So we're here today to speak to Alexander and Santiago about them and their work, as well as their insights into the financial industry. So we're here today at the AI and Finance Summit in New York. And so Alex and Santiago, give us a bit of a background of ING and how the bank is starting to use AI.
Sure. Yeah. So, ING is making very strong commitments in terms of innovation and technology, and particularly, I would say, application of AI in finance. Our CEO likes to talk about being a technology company with a banking license as his vision. And I think this commitment is being reflected in a number of things. For example, the creation of an innovation fund to both invest in external projects but also support the developments of initiatives that are generated in-house. And also, for example, the creation of an advanced analytics tool, advanced analytics group, of which Alex actually is part of. Right. And is the area of the bank that has most ambitious growth targets in terms of number of people, and really trying to embed it into our operations in all the different businesses, trying to find opportunities to improve the way that we do business, improve our customers' experience, and ultimately generate value by incorporating AI.
So give us an overview of each of your roles briefly.
Sure. Should I start? Yeah. So I'm a senior data scientist with ING's Wholesale Banking Advanced Analytics team. There I've worked on projects such as Katana, but also I'm involved in algorithm development within the team for many of the other projects.
Yeah. So I come from the financial markets side of the business, so I run credit trading globally. But over the last 18 months, I actually have been increasingly focusing more on Katana in particular as a project that I started essentially, and we initially targeted the problems that traders in my team are facing on a daily basis and trying to help them with that. But over time has been becoming more and more of my focus, and now actually I'm at the moment I'm focusing 100% on that.
Wonderful. And which areas of the bank are you focusing on applying AI to more specifically?
Yeah.
So within Wholesale Banking Advanced Analytics, we have several ongoing projects. We do work primarily within wholesale banking and financial markets as well. So there is a retail component that is also involved in AI and those developments. On our side then, in addition to Katana, we have another project that's quite prominent called Domino, which is involved in being able to provide an overview for risk with regards to loans that we give out to small, medium enterprises, as well as a number of other initiatives that we are moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah, and financial markets, of course, is a big area for AI, or at least an area of a lot of opportunity. Katana has been so far the biggest and the most advanced, let's say, project in that area, but there are a number of others that focus on other asset classes and helping in more specific problems in other areas. Yeah.
So now a little bit about you. Tell us, how did you both begin your work in AI and finance, and which one came first?
Yeah, well, for me, finance came first, really, and AI more recently. I do have a bit of a technical background, also in operational research, but AI specifically is something that I came across, or machine learning, I should say, came across perhaps 5 or 6 years ago. And then really got hooked with it, and both did a bit of learning, say on my spare time, but also started to initiate projects that would incorporate it into how we do our work. So already a couple of years ago, so we started with some projects with external resources, consultants, specialists. Then a couple of years ago, we actually started to bring in data science into our team, almost rebalancing or changing the balance of resources in the team with more data scientists involved and perhaps fewer traders. Also trying to add more intelligence into the way that we do things through machine learning and data science.
Yeah, for myself, I originally did a PhD in astrophysics, actually, and I always say that I'm a bit of a recovering physicist. In there, I'd actually done some work in statistics as well, and through that became kind of aware of the larger machine learning community, and that almost entirely overtook my interest. When I left academia, ING was excellent in offering opportunities for me to explore finance, the banking industry, but also develop my own talents in machine learning as well. And it was a really healthy pairing. And so I started working with ING and vice versa, and yeah.
So how have recent progressions in AI helped advance your work, and where have you seen the greatest improvements?
So one thing, of course, is concretely the results that we're seeing from implementing an AI tool in the business. So we're seeing measurable improvement in performance that, of course, is very rewarding and also helps us give our clients better liquidity, effectively in this case, and therefore better service. So the impact there is very concrete, but I think at a personal level it goes well beyond that, I would say, because both, I would say, internally within the organization, for me in particular, has broadened my say connectivity within the firm and my involvement in all kind of other things, and you know, being involved in very other interesting things that are happening in innovation generally within the bank, which is a core focus of what we're doing. So that has been very nice also. And also because we have we see really Katana, the current project that we showed today, as the starting of a much bigger idea. We also have launched projects where we are co-creating tools with clients, and that is really interesting, because now we're getting closer to our clients. We're working on different problems. We are and that it works fantastically well for us in terms of generating new business opportunities for the bank, but also it gets us closer to our clients, which is a core part of our strategy to do that. So there's benefits and rewards in a very sort of broad sense, I would say.
Specifically from the perspective of machine learning as well, I think, you know, the team that we work with is very non-traditional in the sense that their backgrounds are not necessarily from finance, and machine learning algorithms often offer an opportunity to ask what-if questions that we can then explore, which often may be new to existing business models for how ING as a bank has conceptualized one particular way of working. So in that context, AI itself and machine learning in general provides new opportunities to look at existing business structures.
So there is a lot of sensitive data within the financial sector. How do you ensure that this is handled securely to maintain privacy?
That's a really good question. And I think for ING in Europe, with the advent of things like GDPR, we're putting at the center of our innovation strategy issues related to privacy. One solid example of that is the development of a privacy personal identification protection algorithms that we've developed, which enable us to remove the potentiality for private individual data to become mixed in with data that we interact with and work on in other machine learning settings. We're also structuring a core team that is tackling with the bank as a whole ways to ensure that personal protection and privacy is really at the center of these initiatives.
Yeah, I think Alex really can talk much more intelligently about that than me. Yeah.
So how are you using AI for good in your work?
Yeah, I think that's so. There are a couple of things. So with Katana in particular as a tool, we think we are making some contribution because well-functioning markets require good decision making in a way, and we have developed a tool or a suite of tools that tackles decision making in financial markets directly. So we are, I think, making some contribution towards that improvement of the way markets function generally. But also as an institution, we really support our data scientists in particular in doing work outside work to help with causes. Like, for example, we have one of the data scientists that works in our team has spent, supported by the bank, has spent a month during the summer in Cyprus in a project for refugees. So that is something that's very, it's at the core of the bank's strategy also.
So, would you advise a career in AI, and what are the key skills that you think are needed for such a role?
Yeah. Well, we are a big, I'm a big believer in the potential of AI. I mean, I'm not alone there. Of course, everyone in this conference probably thinks that. And of course, from that perspective, it's a great field to be involved with. It's probably the most transformational development that we will see in the next 50 years. So definitely worth looking into. But of course, it depends also on one's own interests, right? It's not for everyone.
I think for myself, a career in AI sounds a little peculiar to my ear. I think people, if you have a strong math background and or are scientifically kind of oriented and minded, you want to find problems that are interesting to solve. And I would capitulate that AI has some of the most interesting problems to be solved right now. So that's where I've focused my attentions. And yeah, given that set of criterion, I would recommend it in that regard.
So tell me a bit, what's next for both of you?
That's also a good question. I think with Katana and with our talk today, we're not just thinking about what's next. This is really the beginning. As Santiago alluded in an earlier question, we envision Katana as a suite of tools, and we have Katana Edge as at the forefront helping market makers, and we're developing Lens as well, which helps clients on the other side.
Yeah, I think so what comes next immediately, I would say, is to continue developing the current tool and take the other initiatives that we started already from the current state that is more at an earlier stage, so prototype or advanced prototype or very close to MVP, to the next stage. So that's of course in terms of immediate focus. I would say more generally, we think the opportunities to actually improve decision making both on the sell side and the buy side. There's a bit of a technical term there, but from the banking side and from the investor side is phenomenally big. There's wherever you look, there's a problem that you could apply some AI to solve. So I would say trying to control in a way the enthusiasm to actually start new projects and keep, because there's only so many things you can handle, but I think one by one, tackling more and more interesting problems. And I think as you if you get a bit of a longer term view, I think the transformational power that you can get when you actually have, say, 4 or 5 tools that help you with the 4 or 5 crucial things that you do on a day-to-day basis, I think may have an impact that actually will change things at a very sort of deep level.
Well, just one final question. What have you enjoyed most at the Rework Summit so far?
I think for both of us, it's been a real pleasure actually seeing just the breadth of talks that are happening and gaining some insight as well from our peers about what their challenges are and sharing our experiences together with the other participants.
Yeah, I would say the exchange of ideas, of course, is fantastic. You get to find out about really cool things that are happening in other places and people are thinking about, and then having the informal opportunity to have informal conversations around it, from the more technical end of things to the more, say, investors, for example, how they're thinking and how they are deciding to allocate their capital in this space. So that breadth, as Alex was saying, is quite good. I think if in a sort of short amount of time you actually get to absorb a lot. So that's I think very, very, very good.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us here in New York.
Thank you.
Thank you.